Ladies and gentlemen, Raila Odinga is pushing William Samoei Arap Ruto into a very tight corner. And I'm not sure whether William Ruto is going to escape from that corner. I was just going through normal online stuffs on Twitter. And then I came across a video which is actually trending. It's something which had never happened before in the past. The residents of Mount Kenya region lining up for food relief. It has never happened before. And in this particular situation, it was the Royal Media Services which was distributing the food relief. Remember how Royal Media Services were being attacked by the same residents. And none other than Solomon Kuria had this to say on Twitter. This is not Turkana. This is Nyeri County. Thousands lining up for food relief from Royal Media Services. Iko shida. The truth of the matter is that those scenes have never been witnessed before. And for those who follow also politics and the happenings around the country, the situation is worse in other parts of the country. Personally, I've witnessed images of animals dying. I've witnessed children unable to stand up. And there are several other cases of where people have actually lost their lives because of hunger. And in fact, if you go to Nyanza today, there's a joke which is currently ongoing, that if you have not yet married your wife, then you simply need to go to Narok. If you come from Nyanza, you simply go to Narok with a lorry, get 3 or 4 cows at 500 bob each, then bring them and marry, so that people will not have any excuse. So that's how bad the situation is. But Raila Odinga is pushing William Ruto into a very tight corner. And William Ruto has actually fallen for the trap. I was just going through Dennis Itumbi's tweet just right now. And Itumbi was saying something here. Itumbi was saying something here just 1 hour ago, 2 hours ago. He's saying President William Ruto leaves Turkana for Baragoi Stadium in Samburu, and is quoting Kenya UN resident coordinator. It is not Kenya's fault that 4.5 million people are hungry. There has been 5 failed rainy seasons. In the past, Itumbi would have blamed President Uhuru Kenyatta. He would have blamed Raila Odinga. He would have blamed BBI. Dennis Itumbi would have blamed the handshake for the situation which we are currently facing. I want us to look at the corner which Raila Odinga has actually put President William Samoei Arap Ruto. Raila Odinga is putting William Ruto under a lot of pressure. Number one is putting William Ruto under the pressure to deliver on the promises. Raila Odinga is doing this because clearly there is no way William Ruto is going to deliver on the promises he made to Kenyans immediately. But the fact of the matter is that there are certain promises which William Ruto made to Kenyans. And he said that immediately he will put the Bible down. He will implement them. Like things like cost of living. In fact, I remember at some point, Rigathi Gachagua was blaming Raila Odinga for failure to increase the salaries for the police. There is also, Raila Odinga is also talking of the tax burden, which is real. William Ruto has increased, for example, the NSSF. Instead of the 200 flat figure, he has increased it now to 6% of your earnings, which is huge. So if you add 6% plus the 16%, which is normally on pay, that adds up to around 22 already, and there are other taxes. So which means if you're working, you are basically working for the government. Remember, Uhuru Kenyatta also had the subsidies, which William Ruto removed immediately. So the burden on Kenya is now just too much. And Raila Odinga is putting all this pressure on William Samoei Arap Ruto. And, you know, certain things are just happening. I don't know whether in favor of Raila. Guys, there's a lot of construction outside here. I don't know why. I don't know whether certain things are working in favor of Raila Odinga or against William Samoei Arap Ruto. But the truth is, the other day, William Ruto was reported to have donated several trucks of food stuffs to Somali, while Kenyans are suffering. And Rigathi Gachagua actually responded by asking Kenyans to donate to starving Kenyans. And Kenyans said they are not going to do it. Why do you think Rigathi Gachagua actually asked Kenyans to donate? In my view, Rigathi Gachagua was actually responding to the fact that Ruto had allowed food to leave the country, when the truth is Kenyans were actually suffering. Remember, Nyeri alone, where Rigathi Gachagua is coming from, is where food donations are being distributed. So for me, I think the corner which Raila Odinga has pushed William Ruto is not going to get out of it. And if he's going to manage and squeeze out of it, as a Kenyan, I'll be ready for William Ruto's presidency, followed by Rigathi Gachagua's presidency. That's the fact. But that corner is tight because previously, these guys used to blame the Jubilee government for their failures. Jubilee government is no longer there. So they are no longer blaming Jubilee government. They used to blame the handshake. The truth of the matter is that the handshake is no longer there. So they have all the time to do whatever they want. And again, they used to blame the BBI. The BBI is no longer there. The other day, Kenya Kwanza MPs called for a press conference, and they were attacking Raila, they were attacking Uhuru, you know, the cost of living, and Kenyans were really on them. So which means they no longer have anywhere or anyone to blame. William Ruto made promises. Those promises are not going to be met. Number two, William Ruto is taking the country when the drought situation in the country is severe. And you know, things like drought, as a president, he might not really have much to do with it. But he's being blamed because he used to blame any other person. In the past, this drought we are witnessing, William Ruto would have gone to Turkana in a church and blamed President Uhuru Kenyatta for it. In Nyeri, Kieni, he would have gone to Kieni and blamed Uhuru Kenyatta and the handshake for the drought in Kieni. William Ruto is also taking the country at a time when there is serious global economic meltdown. Globally, the economies are doing bad. William Ruto would not have told Kenyans the fact. If I were Ruto, I would go outside there and stop blaming Raila Odinga, stop blaming President Uhuru Kenyatta. I would go outside there and just assure Kenyans that the situation is bad because there's a drought. We thought we would change it, but it's not possible because of the global economic meltdown. There's nothing much we can do, but we are going to work hard as a Kenyan. Telling Kenyans to wait for like 1 year because we are giving them fertilizers won't help. Like I was asking myself, just like a layman, why would the distribution of food relief or relief food be something which is being flagged off? Why are cabinet ministers and secretaries going around the country using choppers, using high-end vehicles just to oversee the distribution? Then what is the work of the provincial administration, the county commissioners, the chiefs, the assistants? Those are the things they're supposed to do. But waiting for people to die as you organize on how you are going to flag off maize distribution from Nairobi, you spend a whole day, you know, Kenyans are dying in Turkana. You spend a whole day in Nairobi with the food stuffs, the whole day. waiting for a cabinet minister to come, waiting for the deputy president to come with a flag, one by one. That's for Nyeri. It doesn't make sense to me. So William Ruto is likely going to face it very rough, because the other thing is, when Raila Odinga is playing his role as an opposition leader, then you are in trouble. I don't know what you think, but for me, Raila has pushed William Ruto into a corner. He might not be successful in getting out of that corner unhurt. Bye-bye.